to another video. Today we are watching YouTube and we're gonna watch Deeds with Deeds. My mom, wait. My mom allowed me everything. Let's enjoy the video.
Who could have known the smallest changes could make the biggest impact? You did, and so did we.
There we go. Let's watch this.
Hello. Today, I'm going to tell you my story. I was 8 years old when I fell down the stairs. I landed right on my chest. I also got a concussion. I was very upset. What if now my chest won't grow, and I won't even be able to cup it with my hands? Guys won't even look in my direction at all. I was in the hospital for several weeks. Then I was discharged, and life carried on, until I was exactly 15 years old. From the ages of 8 to 13, I could sometimes feel pain in my chest area, but didn't pay attention to it. And at 13, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. For some reason, I wasn't even upset. I probably just didn't realize the seriousness of the situation. I even bought myself a cancer-stuffed toy and would sleep with it. But at age 15, the pain intensified. I was operated on, and I realized the seriousness of the situation. There was nothing left of my chest. Then they told me that I didn't have long to live, or at least no more than a few years. Doctors said that it would be a miracle if I lived to see my 18th birthday. After that, I fell into a deep depression. During that time, I underwent intensive therapy and sometimes went, you won't believe it, to school. I hated school even more than my cancer.
I hate school.
Teachers, mom, and everyone except the doctors hoped that I would recover. But in
I hate school too. Very boring.
classes, I wasn't forced to write or do basically anything. I just sat there or laid on my desk or even slept. Sometimes I listened to music with headphones. It was the most pleasant thing in my life. And now that I've turned 16, the doctors have given me the worst prognosis. At this age, I realized that there are so many beautiful things in the world that I wouldn't get to try or even get to see. I was overwhelmed and cried all the time. I wasn't an excellent student, but I wasn't a bad girl either. I just did everything that was required of me. Then I remembered how much I had been keeping myself from doing. I had refrained from skipping class so as not to upset my parents. Go to hell! I had kept myself from trying alcohol when my classmates had already known its taste since they were 14. I was afraid to open up to boys, afraid that they were using me. The next day, I decided to keep a diary where I wrote down everything I wanted to do in this life before I died. It was a short list, but quality. From that day on, I began my new life and my story. I went to my mom first thing and told her, Mom,
Never do what she wrote down.
I love you, but no more rules. Now, I'm going to choose what is good for me. I could see that she wanted to cry, so I didn't even expect an answer from her. The next thing was to quit school. I went to the principal and said that today was my last day at school. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. Mom understood me. She even went to school to once again explain to our stupid principal that I had the right to spend my last years the way I wanted. So she took the documents and freed me from school. When we got home, my mother burst into tears. I tried to calm her down. I said, come on.
Come and be my daughter. I will sell pigs to raise you.
And Mom, education isn't that important. Besides, I'm almost a corpse. School won't save me. Everything is going to be fine. I laughed, and she cried. Probably because adults take life much more seriously than we do. Why even become an adult then? And while everyone was sitting and rotting in class, I went to bed until night. When I woke up, it was already dark. I went to the kitchen and found my mother there. She had already poured herself a few bottles of wine and was now switching to whiskey. I grabbed a glass and set it on the table. My mother poured me some whiskey with a smile. We clinked our glasses. Ew! What was that? I had tried alcohol for the first time in my life, and I already didn't like it.
This is what you get. You cannot drink that stuff when you're a kid.
Mum smiled for the first time in a long time. We laughed together. For the first time, I was getting to know my mother so closely. We talked about everything. I found out about her skipping school, her first love, and her first broken heart. She talked about how she met Dad and about how he left us. We laughed, then cried, and then laughed again, and so on until the sun was peering through our window. Then Mum said the best words she had ever said to me. She said, "I know what you need." The next day, my mother brought me some medical marijuana, which is given only by prescription. Mum and I never cried again. We left everything and flew to the sea. We started living as if the next day would be our last. Why weren't we living like this before? Why can't you just live like that all the time? And I mean that people really do live like they're going to live forever. It was the best time of my life. I had even forgotten about my health problems. But nevertheless, the disease continued to manifest itself more and more, and I had to continue treatment. Mom gave me some good news. The Make-A-Wish Foundation. It was a foundation that would fulfill any wish of a terminally ill child, but only up to 18 years of age. Can you imagine? I could ask for anything. They even arranged meetings with celebrities. I could even meet Billie Eilish. But I chose the simplest thing. I asked them for a dog. I had never had a dog. Yeah, give me a dog. From that day on, I had a little friend. We named him after my father, Sam. After all, he, like my father, loved to run away from my mother and me. I am now 18 years old. Doctors told me that I wouldn't see my 18th.
Are you drooling?
They were wrong. I don't know how much longer I can enjoy the sunsets and sunrises. My health problems are already making themselves felt. Sometimes it hampers my movement. Fatigue sets in quickly, but I continue to live, no matter what. I want to live as long as I have left. Sam and Mum are my best friends. I hope that many people see my story and that it can inspire them. Never give up. By the way, my name is Caroline. I'm 18, and that was my story.
Hi, I'm Marcus. I'm 23, and
I've always been surrounded by girls. In drama club,
This is still the same story. I don't know what this is, but we'll keep watching it in the next episode. Bye, guys and girls.